Everyone, my name is Muzie Kheswa. I'm from Crystal Fountain. The organization is based at Pimville Zone 2, Hlalefang. It's an old school.
Yeah.
So what I do mostly, I ensure that we work towards our vision, which is to have an HIV-free society with excellent quality of life, free from chronic illnesses.
Yeah.
Those are the activities that we render in the community from Pimville around Soweto, on health issues, and ensure that we work towards the global goal of ending AIDS in 2030.
Yeah. So let's speak about the inspiration of you guys now identifying some of those problems. Where is the inspiration coming from so that you guys can come in and combat illnesses like this in our communities?
Yeah, so obviously just in the beginning, right? What inspired just the founding of Crystal Fountain in 1999 and thinking of the community landscape in those times?
Well, during those times, the country had no ARV program, and people were dying of AIDS in 99. So the organization was founded by church members who saw a need, and we started having a nursing home to take care of the terminally ill. And later, after the TAC had taken the government to court to have at least the nevirapine to pregnant women, people were dying of AIDS. Later, we had an OVC program. While parents' guidance were taken care of in the nursing home, children were left behind. And then so that we said, okay, let it be an OVC program, which simply means orphan vulnerable children, to ensure that children are taken care of. And likely in around 2004, there were rollout of ARVs in the country. So it's a deep one because during those times, many children were born with HIV. And even today, we are ensuring that there's adherence to those children. Mostly are now above 18, others are below. Even to date, there are children still born with the virus.
Wow, because that is quite important work and awareness that you're doing there with the, your organization. And I know that, nothing comes without challenges, right? So when you started the foundation, and of course now, considering the community landscape back then, what were some of the early challenges that maybe you as Crystal Fountain faced within the community back then in order to start up, the important work that you do?
HIV comes with stigma. And years back, it was so bad. It was so bad. And, people will find it difficult to disclose or even to come to the center because there was that labeling within the community until most people were affected to see their family members being infected by the virus. And then that's when you said, okay, this is a societal issue where we need to come together and show we support one another. Even till today, stigma, HIV stigma is still a huge problem because of how people perceive it, and disclosing or having support is difficult, even if you can talk to couples about it or individuals. It's difficult.
And more so in, our Black South African communities, the stigma is quite deep, It's deeply rooted, some might say in like culture. So I know that, you guys are based in Soweto, right? So, Soweto has a rich but complex community fabric. So how does a Crystal Fountain navigate the cultural, religious, and economic dynamics of the area in order to overcome things like the stigma and, of course, the challenges that you mentioned?
Well, we have education and awareness that we do monthly or weekly, depends on our calendar, and we also follow the health calendar. Engaging with the community, that's where we raise awareness and education, and distributing those IEC material, rich information and education material, and do prevention programs to young people. It also give them a right direction and have a positive thinking around HIV and AIDS. So yeah, those engagement, they also ensure that people are equipped with information. You can take it granted that HIV, we've been talking about HIV for many years, and we still have people that are infected. If you can look at the UniAid stats, it does says that from the ages of 12 to 24, that's where the high rate of new infections are coming from, because of the lifestyle of young people. So around that age category, that's why we do HIV prevention activities with young people.
So one day we woke up and then we heard that President Donald Trump, cut off the AIDS, fund. So do you think that had an impact? And we saw, the growth in the numbers of people infected with HIV in our communities?
The US aid, it was contributing massive to HIV prevention. We, as an organization, were affected by that executive order. We were receiving funds in ensuring that we kept the spread of HIV. And by the laws in the country, especially in Joburg, where I'm familiar with, the road to end AIDS by 2030, it seems blurry now because of that funding loss. So
really?
Yes, and there were many job loss from health workers, people that were ensuring that we work towards the goal.
I love that you spoke about, the need for funding in order to, do the important work that you do. So I know that, of course, you are a non-profit. So for an NPO like Crystal Fountain, community and donor support is quite vital in you being operational and, of course, doing the work that you do. So what kind of support is most needed right now, and how can our viewers get involved?
Well, we appreciate any donation in any way. Our programs were affected by executive order. We are mainly focusing on children. In ensuring that children that are living with HIV, they understand why they are taking the medication. Because when they reach the age of adolescent, they tend to be resistant in taking medication. That's where they're starting defaulting, because you find that maybe the firstborns or children within the family, one is HIV positive, and daily he has to take that medication, and other siblings are not taking the medication. And there's that time questioning. So we're coming in supporting the child, the parent, or the guardian to ensure that you should know that you are different. We have to take this medication, ensuring that you stay healthy, and there's that U equals U, which is undetectable equals to untransmitted. Yes, and we have programs like Buchilo. Buchilo means life. It's a vendor way that means life, where we have sessions for children. V1 is for children that are not HIV positive. And we have a V3 that focusing on children that are HIV positive. That's adherence program and support. And we also have a dreams program that was affected. I'm just mentioning the programs that we had, and if you could get support, we will reinstate them immediately, because they were having positive results. And the dreams is for girls, young girls from the ages of 12 to 24, ensuring that they have good sexual reproductive goals, and they should not date older men. That intergenerational relationships, ensuring they survive because of peer pressure and other things. So would come that space. And if we could get support, we will reinstate all those programs that are mainly focusing on children and on people living with HIV. Lately in the community, we have people that are using drugs, and they are sharing nickels, calling it Bluetooth and other ways.
Yes.
we work with other stakeholders, about Smart Jab, in ensuring that whenever they are using, but they should use it safely, following the precautions, and one who should have his own injections, ensuring that there's no more transmission of the virus. So we have lost resources. We will appreciate to ensure that we contribute in the community of Soweto positively, because sometimes we see these issues in a distance, and drugs have turned the community in a bad space where we see young people continuing engaging in those activities like Harbly and others, and they start small, and later they tend to use the famously known Nyaupe, and will come in the space to reduce stigma. We had a program called Stigma and Discrimination Reduction Program, where we would advocate people that are using drugs to have to access health services, because when they go to a clinic, when they are sitting with the community, they are being discriminated because of how they look, on how they smell. So if an individual wants to contribute at Crystal Fountain, we have an organization account that people can contribute. Or it's not only about cash, even education or skill. Because we believe that together we can make a difference.
I love that you spoke that it's not just, about donations, it's about contribution and skill as well. So, I mean, you work with what role do schools and local institutions like Hlalefang Primary School play in your outreach and your programs?
Well, the schools, we're working close with schools. They allow us to raise education and awareness. And for that period, like maybe it's a LO period, will come in and assist the teachers, because sometimes we find that they lack the skill when it comes to health issues. And where we struggle, we also invite other stakeholders, your child welfare, and it's not only on HIV activities, also mental health, because our services are a vast services where there's also psychosocial support, where we also engage with the families, the background, why this child or the person is behaving in this way. You find out there's a trauma behind. So to cap that spread, if we deal with trauma, at least the percentages of the individual to be infected will be limited.
Plus you'd be dealing with the grassroots issues that are causing, the behavioral issues within the children that are preventing them from doing the right thing, like taking their medication, and obviously causing resistance. So I really commend you on the work that you do, because I mean, celebrating Youth Month, and dealing with issues like you're saying, drug addiction, mental health is a very, very important place to start, because people neglect to understand that the grassroots of things like addiction and the societal issues we see today are actually, they start somewhere, and most of them start when it comes to trauma and in the mind, right? So with all the incredible work that you're doing, what's a story or moment that really reminds you why this mission that you're on matters?
Assisting someone and say thank you, it just fulfilled my heart and my colleagues. You say no, this is a success story. If we look back at COVID-19, facilities were not easily accessible.
True.
People were defaulted, but now we're using a word called disengage. They disengage from medication, and to enroll them back to art, it just fulfill our heart to see that viral load going down, and the person becomes more healthier than before. So and not only on HIV, and even assisting young people with a skill, because we having a skills development program, it limits young people in being involved in risky behaviors,
drugs.
because
Yeah.
one becomes independent
Yeah.
and do independent choices.
Yeah.
So to have skills programs, it also, like, you know what, we have employed or brought young people in a space of employment, more than 100. And when you look at them, it is maybe their first job. And we just create a platform for them to have greener pastures.
Yeah.
And we have received positive feedback from them. They say, thank you for giving us that opportunity, giving me an opportunity. I didn't know anything about work. I was from school and so forth. But so
beautiful.
it just say, you know what, we are contributing better in our society.
Yeah, beautiful. Because when one hears about these kind of things, they would also want to hear about the progress. So, do you guys in your organization have, the tracking progress? Because there was a conversation we once had, with one of the motivational speakers who always come here, which is Mr. Sakipadi. So he would say a lot of guys they will be taken into rehab. And then after they have done with their rehab program, they come back into the same society that have turned them to become, drug addicts. And then they relapse, they go back. So do you guys have any, ways and processes of tracking the record and the progress of people who are living, with HIV, who are also drug addicts, to say, you know what, with this number we have done good. These are the people that we have taken, and this is where they are right now.
That they still clean
Well, as I've mentioned earlier, that we have a program called Stigma and Discrimination Reduction. We promote awareness that we should not call them addicts. Well, let us call them users, because they are still victims of the substance. And we work close with facilities like Mpilweni, Ebara, where we would refer them to Mpilweni, and there's enrollment system where intake process, and we work close with facilities for their medical record, and our success rate from a scale from 1 to 10, I think, will be 8 for the former users that they are no longer using. But how do we ensure that they are not returning back into their old behaviors or habits? Is to ensure that we keep them busy with employment or skill. Because what makes an individual to be on drugs, he has more time on his hand doing nothing. So if you can get that person busy at most of his time, and
they won't think about drugs.
And there's a saying where it's the idle hands and an idle mind are the devil's playground.
Thank you.
So now, obviously, as we conclude the conversation, looking ahead into the future, what's next for Crystal Fountain, let's say in 2025 and beyond? Any upcoming initiatives or dreams you're working towards?
We are working towards a hunger relief program.
Nice.
That will eradicate poverty within the community, especially the informal settlement and other communities where we see a lot of vulnerability. We also are working close to have a digital hub to give the community a free internet to do their research, job seeking, to be exposed to that free service, because people are frustrated at home without having data, but they have that passion of doing something.
Very interesting.
Amen. It's often said it takes a village, and Crystal Fountain is living proof of that. So from providing warmth and meals to orphaned children, to standing beside those fighting illnesses and stigma, they've become more than just a non-profit. They are a community heartbeat. So Vooka Nation, if you want to support support their mission or volunteer or simply just learn more about this beautiful organization, we'll be sharing all their contact details on our social media platforms. And of course, you can follow Vooka daily on our WhatsApp channel because we will have that up on there. So let's continue to amplify for the work of those changing lives and making an impact where it matters the most. Wekete, what are your final thoughts?
So I think on this one, man, it's a very good initiative because I think in our communities we have seen a lot of stigma, if you spoken, and it's these kind of organization that speaks to the people out there who are suffering from these kind of illnesses to say, you know what, there's a safe space that I can go to. And speaking of safe space, how can people contact you guys if they want to reach out?
Well, we have social media handles. Our Facebook page is Crystal Fountain. We also have a contact number, 011-528-8985. 011-528-8985. And we are also available at TikTok and all those social media handles.
Yeah, man.
We are happy, man. We are happy to be following your guys' journey, and looking into where you guys are going. And the Vooka Breakfast Show will always be here to share those moments with you. If you guys happen to want to share any success story, we are here to break it down for you guys right here. But Mr. Muzie, thank you so much for coming right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show just to sit with us and share much about the organization itself.
And the important work that you do, because as we wrap up, Youth Month, we are reminded by Crystal Fountain that investing in young lives isn't just about celebration, it's about action. That Vukuzenzele mindset that we push here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. Crystal Fountain is doing exactly what we stand for here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, which is that Vukuzenzele mindset for the youth, that by providing care, stability and hope for orphaned and vulnerable children affected by HIV and AIDS, and of course those other programs that they have that is about drug awareness, and of course giving skills and improving the lives of young people right here in the heart of Johannesburg, Soweto, our people doing amazing things. So I know if you have been inspired, just like I have been by their story, now's the time for you to take action. And of course, you can also give back. So whether it's a monetary donation, like he said, but he also mentioned that you can also give back with skills and, time. There's also school supplies, I'm sure, that they can need, and food parcels, like he said. So every contribution counts. So help them continue the work that they do of building a brighter future where no child is left behind. We'll be sharing their banking details on how you can also support their OVC program on our socials, because as we close off Youth Month, let's close it off by making a real difference together. As you've been watching the movers and shakers right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, remember, real starts with you.
Before we close off, Mr. Muzie, we can't close before you give a shout out to the team members that you came with, just to name them. Who are they and what they're doing, man? Because you guys are doing an incredible job to the communities.
Okay, before the shout outs, I would like to say we also have a program of Know Your Status. As we are closing the Youth Month, we encourage people to get tested. Young people, they should not run away of knowing their status. We also test within the whole region D, which is Soweto, just for free. And regardless of the results, it's either positive or negative. If it's positive, at least you know what to do. From initially, you just made an art program, it's for you. And if you are negative, we encourage you to continue using healthy methods
Yeah.
of engaging in sexual activities.
Yeah.
So,
Just so that people can know, please explain what ART is. What does the
Oh.
abbreviation ART stand for?
Oh.
Oh.
Because you all look at you just sitting there listening. You don't even know. You see,
I
just
think
for
art
so for
is-
people like
I mean, art
Amogesi,
is-
can you talk, what is ART, please?
ART, it's antiretroviral
Yes.
treatment.
Yes, Mweketi, there you
Antiretroviral
go.
treatment.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. They reduce the rate of virus in your blood cells, so that you become healthy.
Yeah.
And if you take your medication very well,
Yeah.
you end up testing negative.
Yeah.
It's not that you don't have the virus.
Yeah.
It simply means it is undetectable.
Detectable.
So in that way, you cannot transmit it. And that one we promote mostly to couples that are married. Maybe they want to have a baby.
Yeah.
They can still have a negative an HIV negative baby if one of the partner is HIV positive.
Yeah.
There's U equals to U. Yeah.
Yeah.